This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Talking with Nate Olson from Scorebook Live. A lot of high school football talk to get to today. First, Nate, you all right from last night? Chiefs dropped one. Probably a game they could have, should have won, did not. You okay?
I'm fine. I just got into it with somebody on Facebook about it. They say I have no receivers. One game? Are you kidding me? Come on.
They got open. They were running good routes. It's just I think it's a little fluky because I like Tony too, man. I think he's a stud.
Yeah, well, it's when you're that good, you're under the microscope, and a lot of other fans want the Chiefs to lose. And I'm not just trying to have rose-colored glasses, but I'm just like, if they did that 3 games, I don't see that happening again. And they played very poorly and only lost by 1 point. So I've seen this story before. I've seen everybody, piling on Mahomes. He's not that good a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And then look what's happened. And then you don't have Kelsey in the game, and you don't have Chris Jones. Kelsey's coming back for sure, sooner rather than later, and hopefully Chris Jones will be back. After seeing what happened last night, hopefully that's an incentive on both sides to get it done. But, yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button, but I love how everybody's just down on them and think they won't even make the playoffs. That's kind of ridiculous.
Wait until it's October and I ask you about when the Cubs get knocked out of the postseason if they make it, because I'll get to that. I'm sure you'll get back and forth with people on Facebook about that.
They're going to make it, Phil. They're going to make it. Hey, and that's all gravy too, because I had them picked about 2 games over 500. So we're just riding the gravy train right now. It's all gravy, house money, and it's fun to see some meaningful games at Wrigley in September.
That's great. I love it when fans tell me it's all gravy and everything. It's like, well, the Pirates don't even have freaking flour to make gravy with. Let's talk some football here, okay, Nate?
Yeah.
What's up with Braylon Russell? See, he's not going to be playing for Benton as they take on Sylvan Hills tonight.
Yeah, and I wanted to include that. I just got off the phone with Brad Harris. A lot of Razorbacks fans keeping an eye on him this year. I mentioned a few weeks ago that if you have a chance to watch him, you should go out if you're a Hog fan in Central Arkansas and you have a chance to see him. He had a high ankle sprain, I think a decently severe one, in the Salt Bowl. Didn't play in the second half and hasn't practiced in 2 weeks. The good thing for Benton was they had a bye last week with the week 0. You can take your bye whenever you want, and they took it the second week. They start conference play tonight because there's 9 teams in their conference, so they're at Sylvan Hills. They feel confident without him, and the plan is to practice him on Monday. Little Rock Catholic, which has really had a resurgence after moving to 6A, when it made a deep playoff run last year, beat Little Rock Christian, fell to Pulaski Academy in the semis, but they come to Benton next week, and they want him as close to 100% as possible. Brad said that he could play tonight, but he wouldn't be, near 100%, and I think if it was up to Braylon, he would be out there. But, with the high ankle sprain, you want to err on the side of caution because I think Matt probably has seen that, or if he hasn't had one, has seen teammates that it's time is the thing that's going to heal that. And with the bye week, he had, a week there. Now it went from the scooter to the boot. I saw him at the Razorback game in Little Rock, and he was on the boot, and he said, yeah, I'm not going to play, but wanted to confirm that with Brad. So that story will be up. They're also without their backup running back, who is a all-state safety, so that hurts them a lot tonight. They still feel like they can beat Sylvan Hills, and then hopefully we will see him out there next week, and Hog fans can go back to watching him. In one half, I mentioned it before, he was super, super impressive, and it was everything that you thought he would be when he was 100%. He played last year about 65 or 70 most of the year with turf toe and an upper, foot injury, like on the top of the foot. So he couldn't really catch a break last year. Still ran for 1,600 yards. So hopefully for Benton and Hog fans, he will be back on Monday, and we'll see him in a huge game against Little Rock Catholic next week.
Yeah, high ankle sprains. Patrick Mahomes had one of those last year, and he was kind of dealing with that. So what do we got? Fort Smith Northside. How did it go last week? With what's Fort Smith Northside's record? They got Fayetteville. That should be a pretty big matchup this week?
Yeah, they're 0-2, Matt, and did not play well against Greenwood. And this is it's kind of a tale of two teams here. Fayetteville is kind of rolling, and Northside's trying to get going. Your alma mater, but the non-conference is not, like we've said, it's not super important. You definitely want to win the games, but it's not going to dictate if you get to the playoffs. But they have some things that they need to correct, and Fayetteville's kind of going into this one, really clicking on all cylinders after trailing North Little Rock, in week 1 or week 0. They played better last week and are flying high. So Casey Dick's team is a team that we have, fighting it out with Bentonville probably for a conference championship there in October. And Northside was a team that I think they have a lot of talent on Felix Curry's ball club. Several, college players on their prospects, but just, lost to Southside, then lost to Greenwood very badly. Trying to kind of get the ship righted a little bit, and it's a tough task, to try to do that against Fayetteville, but they will do their best.
Tell me about starting up the conference season with Mountain Home and Greenwood. Both teams coming in 2-0. I know Mountain Home had the rivalry win against Harrison last week, and you just mentioned Greenwood really took Northside to the woodshed.
Yeah. So the excitement level of Mountain Home is sky high. They're 2-0, and Steve Airy is a Hall of Fame coach in Missouri that spent just a little bit of time in Harrison and then moved on to become the head coach of Mountain Home. And he's got some excitement there that they haven't had. They've been to the quarterfinals of the playoffs every time he's been there, or every year he's been there. But they feel like they have a really good team. Cade Yates is a great quarterback. A lot of people haven't heard of him, but he's really good, playing well for them. Had a huge game, set a school record against Harrison that they hadn't beaten in 10 years. So the excitement level is huge, and there will be a ton of people at the game. The bad news is Greenwood probably is as good as they've been in several years, and they've been good, a lot. They were in the state championship game last year, but I think that the defense is just lights out. And we talk a lot about Kane Archer, his big brother Cash, a college prospect in his own right, Louisville offer, a few others, and Arkansas is interested. And I would not be surprised to see Arkansas offer him at some point. He's 6'3", 220, kind of plays that edge/linebacker role, has already several sacks. He had 3 sacks in 1/2 last week. So he is dominant, and they're loaded on defense. So I think that's kind of what has separated them this year. With Kane Archer and the complement of receivers he has with L.J. Robbins and company out there, that they're going to put up points. But they have been, they held Northside scoreless and, just really took it to them. So this is a tough task for Mountain Home. But I think people around there are just really excited that they're 2-0 going to this, and that some people like us are kind of talking about it. Hey, they might lose. Think they can be middle of the pack in that league, which is really, really difficult when you've got Little Rock Christian and Greenwood at the top. Lake Hamilton's been good in recent years, but something to be excited about Mountain Home, and you never know what can happen. It's why they play the game. It's a long ways away for Greenwood to go. Mountain Home catches lightning in a bottle and plays well in the first half. You never know what can happen.
That's interesting about the Archer brothers. How far away are they in school? What's their years? And then would it be a package deal? You think they want to go somewhere to play together in the next level?
They're Cash is a junior and Kane is a sophomore, and in youth football they played Kane up a year so that they could be together. I spent an afternoon with those guys. They're pretty ordinary. It's about what you'd expect when you put a defensive player with a quarterback. A lot of ribbing and a lot of, rambunctious. I think the dad, Adam, does a lot of refereeing around the house. When it comes down to it, they love each other, but, boys will be boys. There's a lot of wrestling and stuff that goes on. I think they would probably like to go together. I think they both like Arkansas. I know Kane likes Arkansas a lot. There's some other schools that he likes too, but Cash is just making a name for himself on his own. I mean, he has been so dominant defensively that, you know, you would suspect that Arkansas is definitely looking at him. They know about him, and he's been there, you know, with Kane. So I don't know. You know, he's 220. I think he can gain more weight, but his explosion, he's got 4.7 speed coming off the edge, really, really dominant. I think if Arkansas doesn't offer him, some other schools will, and he'll have some Power 5 offers. But he's been super impressive. I mean, he's been one of the more impressive defensive players I've seen so far in this young season.
Well, and also in the south part of the state, Hot Springs Lakeside, a place where my dad coached, I believe in the 90s there. Yeah, you got Malvern and Hot Springs Lakeside. How do you got that one going?
Lakeside is a surprise team. I think Southside's been a surprise. Lakeside's right there. You know, they beat Lake Hamilton, which is, your dad would know, is a huge rival, but Lake Hamilton's been on the winning side of that many times. And so Lakeside really kind of shocked some people. They've got a new coach, and Garen Rockwell took over for former Razorback quarterback Jared McBride. He was a defensive assistant for him, and really kind of an unknown, I think, out of the local circles, but came in with a really positive attitude. The players were talking about how practice was a different atmosphere. He's pulled all the right strings so far. So they beat Lake Hamilton, the 6A school. Then they beat Russellville, which was very surprising. Again, Russellville, not a bad team. Tracy Daniels ran for 300 yards the week before, set a school record. They win that game, and now a 4A school in Malvern comes a-calling. This is a local game, kind of a rivalry game a little bit, close proximity. Malvern, we think, has got a great chance to repeat as 4A champions. Jalen Dupree, great running back, right behind Braylon Russell, is one of the best in the state. Going to Colorado State, Vinny Winters, offensive lineman being looked at by Arkansas and other Power 5 schools. And Jacob Haramiso, the quarterback at Lakeside, getting a lot more looks than last year, the full-time job, throwing for a bunch of yards. This is going to be a shootout. I think it'll go down to the end. If Lakeside wins to go 3-0 in the non-conference, look out in the league, because they will have a lot of momentum. That is a tough league they play in, with an opener next week in the 5A South against Camden Fairview. But I think they will definitely have a lot of respect around the state if they can pull out the win tonight. And I think at home they have a chance. But Malvern putting up lots of points at 54 in a loss to the Texas team a few weeks ago. Very explosive. This will be a fun one to watch.
You say Jared McBride, is that? And so Phil, I don't know if you know this, but you got the 98 documentary coming out and stuff. So 99, 2000, that we had about 3 or 4 quarterbacks get hurt. They had to go to the intramural fields and get Jared McBride to come out, and he actually played in the game, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember. I've met him because I did sidelines.
Yeah, pretty cool. You make a documentary on that.
I mean, it was Arkadelphia, cool. Lakeside. I did sidelines. I remember talking to him before. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He stepped away from coaching, but I remember that too. I was in the media in Northwest Arkansas, and that's one of the better stories that has come out of Razorback, football in the last 25 years. That he was hanging out, torching people on the intramural field, and then gets the call from Houston. That documentary is going to be really great, by the way. And just as a side note, I came to Arkansas that year and was able to cover several of those games that year, and I can't wait to see that. And my good friends Anthony Lucas, some other guys that are in that. You can't say enough about Houston Nutt either. I know he'll be really good.
Lucas, they gonna win the state title again this year? They still crushing it?
Man, you think you're gonna count them out? I mean, and I should know better than this. They lost their quarterback Kel Busby, who is a Razorback baseball commit. Their starting quarterback Cobb was out with a hand injury. They were playing their safety, who's an all-state safety, and they've managed to be 2-0. They were behind Madison Ridgeland, which is a really good private school out of Mississippi, and they kicked a 40-yard field goal to win it. They were down by 2 touchdowns late in the game and came back. I mean, amazing things happen on their campus. I've seen it, but I thought they were going to lose. We were at our scoreboard show location monitoring that game, and dude hits a 40-yarder at the horn, like the last second. And unbelievable. Yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, they've got a good chance. And if they win a playoff game, they will be moved to 7A, Matt.
Hey, last thing here, Nate, because we got a couple of texters that wanted to know about Booneville versus Camden Fairview. This is for Calvert and Booneville and Cody and Lavaca.
Yeah, this will be an interesting game. I just talked about that. Camden is going to be the opener next week in the conference for Lakeside. You've got a 3A school playing a 5A school. I think this is kind of where Dax Goff shines for Booneville. He's a two-way guy. I think he's one of the best pound-for-pound football players in the state. He's got to have a huge game for them tonight. They're going to rely on him a lot. The good thing is it's not going to be as hot. I mean, Camden has the advantage with the personnel, with the numbers. But, like I said about PA, you don't count them out at home. You don't count Booneville out either. I think this is a great opportunity for them playing a bigger school. They don't shy away from playing bigger schools. I think they can play with them. It's just a matter if they can get it into the fourth quarter with playing a lot of guys both ways. But look for Dax Goff to have a big game. These are the kind of challenges he likes. He is a real gamer, and they'll be keying on him. But look for him to have a big game and maybe be a close game in the third quarter.
Appreciate you, Nate. Always fun talking high school football with you. If the Chiefs lose, well, they won't play on Sunday, but we'll give you another couple of weeks before we give you more crap about the Chiefs, if we can.
No problem. You guys can do that. No problem.
Thanks, Nate.
Take care, guys.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.